talk briefly, and very briefly, because in fact things are still very much in process. It's still relatively early in the academic year, and so I'm making contacts with organizations. We're kind of shifting gears in terms of issues that arose this summer, transforming contact person in the country. We want to make sure that things are a bit more structured this time around. So we had students submit applications last year that gave some indication of what their skills were, and we tried to find opportunities that matched well with this. This year what we're going to be doing, again, there will be an application process. The kinds of skills that I expect to be looking for include film and media studies to tie in, again, to honest voices, photography. Information technology skills are really important. Last year I had a great opportunity for someone to work with the National Genocide Commission to help figure out how to archive survivor testimony, but I didn't have a single student who applied expressing an interest in sharing information technology skills. So that opportunity was passed by. Students with a background in psychology, counseling, public health issues, gender-based violence, grant writing and fundraising skills. Those are all the kinds of things that I expect to be looking for. Students with French skills, really good as well. Although they seem to manage pretty well with English, Rwanda, and French are more widely spoken. So at this point, even though English is one of the three official languages. So students with French skills would be good in terms of helping with translation. Now, in the case of these students, only 2 of the students had previous experience in Africa, but all had international experience and experience of working in cross-cultural settings. And I would say that's really important with Rwanda. They had, as I said, they had to kind of deal with changing situations on the ground. So they were dealing with those issues as well as simply the reality of being in a very different kind of setting than they were used to. And unless they had that ability to adapt, I don't think that things would have gone as smoothly as they did. So students with a background, even if it's not per se in Africa, background working in an international setting or traveling extensively in an international setting would be a good addition as well. There's going to be a lot of uncomfortable situations. For example, Julie was talking about the fact that she lived in a homestay for part of her experience, and they were concerned that she wouldn't be able to deal with the fact that they only had a pit toilet. So there's certain, discomforts that students are going to have to be willing to accept given the nature of working in Africa. Students who are intimidated by the prospect of working in that kind of environment probably would not be a good fit. And I know that the students have expressed their interest in working with whatever students are selected to make sure that they know both the positive and negatives of being in Rwanda so that there are no surprises. So in terms of the plan, I'm hoping to hold an information session before the end of this semester to give more specific information on the kinds of opportunities that are available. And then there would be an application process where that would be due at the early spring semester, so that I can see the kinds of skills that you have, the interests you have, and then trying to identify a good fit. And then in terms of funding, this past summer, 5 out of the 6 students were funded through the Young Fund, which is based in DWA. The fund is available for DWA students and economics students, as well as politics students who are working with DWA faculty members. But Nelson is none of those, and we did find a way to fund him. So funding availability permitting, the Young Committee is willing to explore the possibility of finding opportunities for students from around campus who would be working with a faculty mentor and a DWA team, because it really is important when we're looking at the kinds of opportunities available that we tie into academic disciplines. For example, I think it's a great idea to pair a DWA student who is, who has taken courses on Rwanda, who then is paired with, say, a psychologist or a film major in a way to kind of leverage their skills. So that's something that I would be very interested in. I'm also looking at the possibility of more kind of stable funding beyond OXI, so I'm looking at grants and and opportunities outside of the college, as well as one promising opportunity that Anahita and I have been talking about, which is the Davis Project for Peace, which offers, I think, $10,000 for students to do precisely the kinds of things that our students did. So I'm looking into that. That deadline is in early January. So, in terms of young funding, that deadline for summer would be March 15th. And so I do want to have students identified prior to that, so they would then specifically be encouraged to apply for young funds.